Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kathleen and I help mature women feel confident, beautiful, and seen in natural, radiant makeup. Today we're talking about the big holiday makeup mistakes that I see women making that unintentionally age us. And in today's video, we're going to be going through 7 of the top mistakes that mature women make and what to do instead. So if that interests you, keep watching. So mistake number 1 is skipping a moisturizer. This might be the biggest mistake of all. Mature skin during holiday winter season, it needs moisture. Without it, it's going to cling to any dry patches that you have on your face. It's going to crack and separate. Always start with a nourishing moisturizer. I'm going to go in, I'm going to use this Bobbi Brown. I use this all the time. So it's going to go in and give just a very light bit of hydration to my skin. And then I'm going to go over it with a hydrating primer. And I'm not going to forget my neck too. And show you the difference between a side with moisturizer and a side without moisturizer. I'm going to go with the Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I'm just going to go in and add that. I'm going to put a little under my eye too. And you can already see the difference in my skin. Like, it just drinks it up, especially in the winter months. Mistake number 2 is using the wrong foundation. So holiday parties typically mean long nights, right? Lots of photos, crowded rooms, probably dancing, cocktail hour. A lot of us, without realizing it, put on way too much foundation, thinking that, oh good, it's a long night ahead of me. I'm going to make sure everything's covered up. So they'll go in and put way too much foundation on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one side the wrong way and one side the right way. So what they'll do is they'll go in and they'll just kind of put it all on there. They'll even go up underneath their eye because they want like a clean, smooth looking palette. So they'll use way too much, and they'll typically use like a long wearing matte foundation because they really want the coverage. So instead, what you should do is go in like I did with the hydrating primer or moisturizer and go in and apply the foundation in very thin layers. Let your real skin be the star of the show. You'll just look fresher and younger looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a radiant tint, and I'm only going to apply it where I need it on the right side of my face. And I'm going to take a different brush. I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to kind of stand back and look and kind of tap it into areas where I need the coverage, which is typically like on my cheek area here where there's some redness. I'll go up here and I'm not going to add any more. I'm just going to go in and tap this across. And you can already see the difference, right? One looks sort of masky, the other side a little bit fresher and more youthful. Now what I can do is if I feel like I need a little bit more coverage over here, is I can go in, I can take a concealer and go in there and just kind of spot correct a few areas. And I can go a little bit underneath my eye. Then I can kind of just feather that into the skin. And always use lifting motions when you're applying makeup to mature skin. You want to kind of brush everything going upwards. Mistake number 3 that I see is applying glittery eyeshadow to the entire lid. And glittery eyeshadow looks beautiful in the pan. It looks beautiful when you swipe it across your hand. With mature eyes, if you go across the entire lid, you're just going to emphasize that texture on the lid. So what you want to do is go in with like a satin, or just put the shimmer in the center of the lid down here. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do is just go in here and I'm going to apply a very neutral looking shadow to my crease, okay? And then next I'll go in and I'll use like a soft pink like this one here, okay? And I'll just put that right across my lid. So you can see that's like a soft pink on my lid. It doesn't look too overdone, but what they have a tendency to do is go in there and they'll put sparkle all over that entire lid, so that it looks something like that. You can see that it's just settling into the texture on my lid. You want to avoid going up here in the crease with any glitter at all. So this side here, with using that matte across the crease and then using just a very subtle shimmer across the lid, will give you an elegant glow without any of that fallout or making your eyes look too harsh. Another common mistake that I see women make, especially around holiday time, is they'll do their entire face and that will be done. Now I'm not saying people do all of these things. So these are some of the top holiday makeup mistakes that I see mature women making. Is when it comes to the neck and décolletage, right? And typically during holiday parties, you might be wearing something that's low cut. You may be wearing like a sleeveless dress, or you may be showing some leg. And what you want to do, pretty much, if you're only going to be showing like the décolletage and the neck area, I would go in and I wouldn't add any more foundation to that brush, but I would kind of take it and bring it down on the neck like so, okay? And just kind of stand back in the mirror and look at it and think, do I need any more touch up here? And just kind of bring it down, okay? All in through here, just so it doesn't look like you have a makeup face and then you're just kind of like stopped, okay? So you look like a floating head. And then you can bring it down on your décolletage. Now, if you have a more revealing dress that you're looking like your arms are showing or your legs are showing, I would recommend going in there with a full body coverage like this one here from Westmore Beauty. This is a body coverage perfector, and I'm gonna leave a link to a video where I do a full review on this product. It is amazing. So if you have varicose veins, if you have any discolorations on your arm or your chest, go in there first and use this and you will see a remarkable difference. And it doesn't smell and it doesn't wear off on your clothing, but you do need to let it dry for at least 30 minutes after you put it on. Okay, so mistake number 5 is the wrong type of blush and the wrong placement of blush. So what they'll do is typically go in and take their blush, they'll take a powder blush first, and they'll go in there and they'll put it right here on the apples of their cheek, okay? And don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful blush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the correct way to apply the blush. Is go in there and use a cream blush. I'm going to be using this one here from PIXI. Comes in a push-up like this. I'm going to take my brush here. I'm going to go and I'm going to dab it on the end of here, this cream. And I'm going to go up high on the placement of the blush. I'm going to bring it right here on the top of my cheekbone. I'm not going too close to the eye. It's right here on the cheekbone. And I'm going to go with upward lifting motions. And I'm just going to tap that blush into there. And I don't need too much, right? You can see how this is already lifting that side of my face as opposed to this side where it's dragging it down. And I'm going to tap going in upward motions like so. Now you can see the difference, right? This side is like weighing down, it's making my face seem like it's sagging, and it's just looking very heavy on this side. Where this side it looks more lifted and youthful. Okay, mistake number 6 is going in there and using way too much setting powder on your face. What they'll do is they'll go in there and completely powder their face. They'll go in there with the brush, okay? Maybe they won't even tap it off, and they'll go in and they'll place that powder all over the face like so. Okay, can you see how heavy and powdery that looks on my face? I've seen this one more times than I can count. And for those of you who don't know, I've been in this industry my entire life, first of all, but I've had my own on-location hair and makeup company for the last 10 years, and I've been in this industry for over 30 now. What you want to do is go in and take a finely milled setting powder like this one here, and go in there and tap that in there. Then you're going to take like a powder puff, okay? You're gonna dab that in there. Then you're gonna go and you're gonna knock some of that off on your hand, and you're only gonna place the powder where you need it. Like say you don't want any shine here, you'll go in and tap that there, okay? If you get shiny around your nose, you can go in and just press that. If you have issues like around your mouth area or nose area, you'll go in and you wanna press that in there just where you need it. If you have it on the T-zone, go up in here and just press that powder in there. You don't need to go in and powder the entire face, just the area that need it. And last but not least, don't forget to go in and use a setting spray, because all your primers and your setting sprays are what are going to keep everything in place. If you're afraid that the minimal amount of makeup that you put on is not going to last the entire night, go in there and use a setting spray. So I'm going to go in with this one from Urban Decay, and it is called Glow Finish, and I'm going to go in. You're going to see that it doesn't give like a super glowy look, and I'm going to spray just a couple of pumps on there, and that's going to give my face a subtle glow. But it's also going to take all of that makeup and just kind of mesh it into the skin. So can you see the difference, right, in my face? Can you see how this one, like all of the texture is emphasized, the fine lines around my lip are, my face looks heavy, it looks very dull, it looks very lifeless. And then the eye, okay? So these are some of the holiday mistakes that I see mature women making and how to fix them. So remember, you don't need more makeup. You just need the right placement, the right prep to get a radiant, smooth look. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe, like, and share it with another beautiful woman in your life. Comment below and let me know what holiday makeup are you wearing this year. And thank you for spending time with me. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye-bye.